Finally, it is here. Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths is finally. When I found out when all of us found out that we were going to get this giant monster kaiju type set, we were all like, "Come on, we want it. We're waiting for it." Now we finally got. Now we're in spoiler season, and it's going to be a condensed spoiler season. So we're going to get. I'm going to try to do a play-by-play each day, but I'm not sure I'm going to get to every card. Like I already know there's a couple cards that got spoiled already again. Past the point I'm going to talking about the cards that already exist. And I know I'm just not going to have enough time to talk about all of them. So I'll do the best I can. Like, for instance, I'm not going to go over the Commanders cards that are going to be spoiled over the weekend. Not going to do it. I'll still look at them and be like, yeah, but no, I'm not going to do that just because I don't have the time. But I am going to try to do day-by-day, play-by-play on each one of these. So with Ikoria and the Lair of Behemoths, not only is it a giant kaiju set, not only do we get all these cool new mechanics, which I will obviously talk about and go over, but we got some funness here. First off, it's a wedge set. That's cool. Absolutely. I didn't think we were going to go a wedge set. We got a wedge set, or at the very minimum, we got a wedge sub-theme. But we got the fact that they teamed up with Toho, and those leaks we got a little while ago about those cards, the Godzilla, King Caesar, and BioQuartz Space Godzilla. Those are legit. Those are legitimate cards. We'll go, obviously, again, we'll go over all of it, but like you can see like right here kind of, I'm not going to click on it, but you can kind of see this extended art. You get both the extended art, you get these alternate arts, and then if you're getting the booster, the collector's packs, you get the Godzilla alternate art ones, which so many of these creatures apparently have Godzilla alternate arts to them. I'm wondering how many kaiju they're actually going to go over. I'll talk about which ones got the treatment. But point being, we are here. We're talking about it, so let's talk about them. I might go on a while in this video, but I don't care. I love magic, love giant monsters, love kaijus, love Godzilla. Please let this Corona bullshit get over so Godzilla versus Kong doesn't get pushed. Because I just want to see that. But yeah, so we got 2 of our 3 planeswalkers. Vivian, who we already knew was in the set, and a new guy who I believe his name is Luca. 1 second, I'm just going to get that here. Increase the size of this a little bit. That really doesn't help it at all, does it? So I'm just going to go back to what I was doing. We'll just go back to the end, and basically you can kind of see the card up on the screen. Yeah, you can basically see the cards up on the screen. But yeah, so Vivian, Monsters Advocate, is 2 green, 3 of any color for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. Now, she does have static abilities. They've said that it's a tool in their belt to be using. And her static abilities are, you may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. There you go. Her +1 ability is you create a 3/3 beast creature token. You may put a vigilance counter, a reach counter, or a trample counter on said token. Now, that is a thing. Mechanic counters are a thing now. How many of them exist? I don't think they've flat out said how many exist. The ones I know exist are, Vigilance, Trample, and Reach. Lifelink Menace. Death Touch is another one. That's 6. I'm trying to think if there's any. Flying. That's another one. I think also Indestructible is going to be one. First Strike, Double Strike might be one. So we may have a lot. But then her -2 ability is you may cast the next creature spell when you cast your next creature spell this turn, search your library for a creature card with a lower, and that is lower, convert a mana cost, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. So you can honestly get both. You could do either of these from the get. So as a card, I actually like her quite a bit. She protects herself. She gives you options. And honestly, you can get basically 2 creatures for the price of 1. So she's a solid walker. The new character is Luca Coppercoat Outcast. Now, the Coppercoats are essentially the military of like the big main city. 2 red, 3 of any color for a 5 loyalty planeswalker. Even trade-off. Legendary planeswalker. +1, you can exile the top 3 cards of your library, create creature cards, exile this way, gain. You may cast this card from exile as long as you control a Luca planeswalker. Obviously, control him or possibly his alternate version you'll get in the planeswalker decks. -2. This is a bit of a lengthy one, so I'm actually going to click on this so I can read it verbatim. There we go. Exile target creature you control, then reveal creatures from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card with higher converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom in any random order. Or you can -7, and each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So essentially a giant mass effect of damage onto your opponent through the creatures you control. I will say this. Not what I was expecting. Like, I was at least thinking he'd be a dual-colored Planeswalker. And I'm probably going to make a different video later in the week. Kind of go, maybe on Sunday, that'll be one of my extra videos, about who I think the third Planeswalker is. Because we know the third Planeswalker is a returning character. There were 2 returning characters and 1 new. We got our new character. So who's the returning character? I've got some theories rattling around in my head on that. As for this guy, you have to obviously be in at least a green-red deck for this guy to really get some points off on him. But I don't think he's bad. Unfortunately, he is kind of not doing anything when he comes out. Because let's say you get him out on turn 5, maybe you got an extra bit of mana. Doesn't really matter, does it? He doesn't really do much when he comes out. If you got a bare field, he's not doing anything. Now, if you could bring him out and there's stuff on the field, that is different. You can -2, and then you can get better creatures out in the field. So he's definitely a bit of a workaround me card, but he's not a bad card. Kregu, the Macro Sage. Now, this is a cycle of rare legendary creature hybrid creatures. Dinosaur Hippo. Love that type. 5/4 or 2 hybrid green and blue mana and 3 of any color. I'm probably just going to use the guild names for that. Companion. Companion's the new one of the new abilities along with Mutate. Companion works kind of like a commander effect where this creature exists outside the game prior to you starting the game. And you can cast it from outside the game so long as your deck apparently meets certain conditions. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of this. I don't play Commander. So, I mean, I could make a Commander deck. I'm not saying I couldn't. I don't play Commander. Anytime I get a Commander deck, I just break it down for parts. And I will break down the Commander decks for parts. So, I think most of us do that. I get it for the cards. Come on. But yeah, that being said, looking at it from the tunnel vision viewpoint of a Commander player, your starting deck contains only cards with converted mana cost 3 or greater in lands. Yeah, most people aren't going to do that. Most people aren't going to do that. It's just, if you can get a couple 1-drops out, great. That's much better to do. Now, that being said, when this guy enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with converted mana cost 3 or greater. For a 5/4 for 5 hybrid mana, that's still decent. To be fair, though, if you've got at least 2 creatures on the battlefield with at least 3 power, you're probably in a good board state already. So this is just icing on the cake. So he's not going to change much except give you a couple more cards. But he's not the worst thing by any stretch of the means. He's just, I can think of better guys. This is not the best. That being said, Cloud Piercer. Cloud Piercer is a 1 red, 4 of any color, common 5/4 dinosaur with a reach. When this creature mutates, you may discard a card. And if you do, draw a card. Now, Mutate. Let's talk about Mutate. Mutate, its Mutate cost is actually a lot cheaper. Well, no, not cheaper. It's cheaper. It's cheaper to cast it for its Mutate cost. 3 of any color and 1 red to mutate it. Now, if you cast this creature for its Mutate cost, put it over or under target non-human creature. Then they mutate into the creature on the top with the abilities from under it. Now, they did demonstrate this in the video, their reveal video, and you can see basically what you do, you'll see that it's darker on top where it's mutate. You basically put the top, whatever card's on top, and you can do this on cards like, honestly, the Macro Sage. It wouldn't matter much with Macro Sage, but you can still do it. You put the top card, you basically put its bottom right underneath the line. Right there, and basically, let's use Krigo, for example. I think that's his name, Karuga, for example. If you were to mutate Cloud Piercer onto Karuga, you would put it basically over the companion thing, and essentially he'd be a 5/4 with Karuga's ability. But if you decide to mutate it and instead make Karuga the top guy, Karuga would still be a 5/4, but now he gains the abilities of Cloud Piercer, Reach, and when he mutates, which he did, you may play a discard a card and draw a card. So it's an that's what they basically meant by build your own monster. And you don't have to keep stacking on the same monster either. I think a lot of people are kind of not a lot of people, but I think some people are kind of getting confused. Like, you're just going to build one monster, and what if it gets destroyed? No, you can have multiple monsters. You can play these guys as such. You don't have to you can still play a 5/4 for 5 with Reach. And you can have multiple creatures mutating at the same time. So I like this as I think this will be a fun deck to make. And trust me, because with all the quarantine stuff and staying at home, but therefore I'm saving a lot of money actually, because I'm really just heading home at the end of the day. I'm not doing anything. I'm not seeing any movies. I'm saving a lot of money. I'm probably going to splurge a bit when this set comes out. But Iluna, Apex of Wishes, and I really got to start speeding up because I know we're already at the 11-minute mark. I told you it's probably going to be long. What Teamer colors? Green, blue, and red, and 2 of any color for a 6/6 Beast Elemental Dinosaur. Now it can mutate for 1 more, but it's 2 blue, 3 of any color, and hybrid red or green. We know what mutate does. Flying trample. So already, even if you played it as a 5/6/6 flying trample, that's well above the curve. Absolutely. But when this creature mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land permanent, and you put that on the battlefield from your hand. And just a straight mutate deck, this thing's going to go nuts. This thing's going to be disgusting. What I think is actually going to be interesting is what happens when you put 1 or 2 mutate creatures in other decks. Because I already told you, let me see if there's a card here. Okay, let's use Luminous Broodmoth, or Gloom Pangolin, for example. For example here, I could put this guy either under or over Luminous Broodmoth. I would probably, just using an example, I'd probably put it on top of Luminous Broodmoth, which means I would give it flying. It already has flying, but it has Luminous Broodmoth's abilities. I can do it on a regular creature. It doesn't have to be a mutate creature. That's pretty cool. But now that we're here, you can see. I'm gonna go up here. There we go. You can see the other 9. Anyone who, even though it's not the biggest picture, that's Ghidorah. That is the version of Ghidorah. Plus, you get this cool Toho poster alternate art. This is the standard alternate art. The collector booster or collector packs have these Godzilla Toho hearts. I want the Ghidorah one. That's the one I really want. Oh, it's so good. Luminous Brute, and it's really cool because they list the actual card that it is, which I think is just such a sweet touch. Luminous Broodmoth, though, is 2 white, 2 of any color for a mythic rare insect, 3/4 flying. When a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under your control with a flying counter. Yeah, you need to handle her quick, because if you've just got I can think of a bunch of decks I could fit this thing in. I got a bunch of soldier decks. I got a soldier deck that doesn't have creatures that fly, so when they die, they're going to come back with flying. I've got a deck that I can think of a whole bunch of decks, honestly, that has flyers in there, or non-flyers. So yeah. And of course, you're going to get your vanilla creatures. Gloom Pangolin is a nightmare pangolin. Pangolin's an actual creature type, which is awesome. A 1/5 for 3. That's pretty, honestly, that's not a bad rate for a vanilla creature. It really sucks, A, first off, that the pre-release got pushed off. But B, and more importantly, that because of my numeric schedule, I'm probably not going to be able to do the pre-release for this, and that blows. I want to do the pre-release for this so freaking bad. Oh well. Huntmaster Liger. I love it as a Liger. That's awesome. 1 white, 3 of any color for a 3/4 cat. Mutate, white and 2 of any color. We already know what mutate does now. When this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +X until the end of turn, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. So, I'm fine. I just had something in my throat. So, Rosewater actually teased this card on Twitter. Yeah, I got a little thing caught in my throat there. About how many times you mutated. So, that is interesting. So, no matter what, now, okay, maybe not no matter what, but actually, thinking about that real quick. Yeah, no, this thing could become a problem really quick. It's only on uncommon, which means it'll be easy to get copies, hopefully easy to get copies of it. Some of the Planeswalkers from War of the Spark were not easy to get, even though they were uncommon. Like I still don't think I have a. Oh God, the dinosaur chick. Why am I blanking on her name? I have a copy of her. uh, Warrior Poet. Why am I forgetting her name? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, given the amount of times you probably are going to be mutated whenever the pre-release happens and the people who are there, how many times you'll be mutating, this thing's going to go nuts fast. So you got to deal with it quick, especially if you've got multiple creatures that are mutating on the field. Like seriously, you got to deal with that, man. Lutri, I might be getting the name of Lutri, the Spell Chaser. Elemental, I'm an elemental otter. It's, oh my God, I love this thing. This thing is so awesome. Its companion, each non-land card in your deck, it has to have a different name. So if you're in a commander deck, this actually could be just fine because it has to have a different name. Flash 3/2, which is actually pretty large for an otter. And obviously it's hybrid mana. It's pretty cheap too, only 3 mana and 2 Izzets. Flash, when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, so you're saying don't cheat it out, okay. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose a new target for it. I can see it being useful. I can definitely see it being useful, but it's got to be the right design. I have decks that it could work in, but this thing's got to be in the right design. Void Beckoner is 2 black, 6 mana for a Death Touch. Oh, with cycling is a new returning mechanic. 8/8 Death Touch with cycling, 3, cycle it, draw a card. 1 black for 3. When you cycle this, put a Death Touch counter on target creature you control. Quite frankly, people are going to be playing this for this cycle. Day in, day out. You'll draw a card and give something Death Touch. Yeah, you're going to... If you can get it on the field, sure. But people are going to be using it definitely for the Death Touch. And it does have an alternate version of it. It does have an alternate art. It has a Space Godzilla one. But they had to change it from Death Corona to Void, something Void. For the coronavirus issue. And I can understand the sensitivity of it, so it's fine. Zagoth Mamba. I'm always up for a new snake. 1 black for a 1/1 Nightmare Snake uncommon. Whenever this creature mutates, target creature and opponent control gets -2 until the end of turn. That's kind of cool. I like that. Should note, the creature on top keeps its... Whatever the creature on top is, that's the power of the creature. So if this thing's on top and it's mutating and all that, you're not going to be having the power of other creatures added on to it. So you're going to have to pump it other ways. More than likely, though, people are going to use it as a base for mutating, putting stuff on top of it. Bristle Bore. 1 green, 3 mana color for a 4/3 boar. It is pretty much just a warthog. It can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. They did note that with cards that actually list the name of the card in there, Bristle Bore, you treat the mutated creature as the card in the name. And that's fine. Both these guys are fine. That'll be a solid 1-drop. depending how cheap some of the mutate is. Drenith Stinger? Yeah, Drenith Stinger. 1 red, 1 of any color for a 2/2 human wizard. Whenever you cycle another card, this card deals 1 damage to each opponent, or you can play 1, cycle it, and discard a card. Multiple copies of it, get a couple on the field, and then you keep cycling, and if you can return cards, yeah, you can have a good solid engine going. Yeah, humans, they've said, are really the only humanoid race on the field. Or on the plane. If there were any, they pretty much, any others, they got wiped out. Fully Grown is essentially kind of a Giant Growth-esque type card. But plus 1 green, 2 of any color, target creature gets +3/+3 until the end of turn, and you put a trample counter on it, which means it'll get permanent trample, which is sweet. Moscow Grorak, 1 green, 2 of any color for a 2/4 vigilance. That's honestly a pretty good rate. It's cheaper than what its actual base is, so yeah. You get these cool alternate arts of Cloud Piercer, Vivian Monster Advocate, Luca Coppercoat Outcast, a new version of pacifism, new art of pacifism. I like how derpy that monster looks. Yeah, Vadrot, Apex of Thunder. Now there's like 3 different areas that have 3 different sets of mana, and there's an Apex Predator in each of them. Now we've actually had 4 of the Apex Predators revealed. Elam, the Ghidorah one. This is the one that is actually Rodan. And there's also one that is, again, Space Godzilla. And King Caesar. We actually didn't get the fifth one spoiled today. It might be spoiled later on today, and I won't get to it, but still. So Vadrock Apex of Thunder is 1 white, 1 red, 1 blue for a 3/3 elemental dinosaur cat. With a mutate cost of 2 red, 1 hybrid white blue, and 1 of any color. Flying First Strike. Whenever this creature mutates, you may cast non-target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from the graveyard without paying its mana cost. So this one I'll actually admit, I mean, as a just straight out beater, 3/3 Flying First Strike, great, fantastic, groovy. I'll be honest though, this one I'm a little iffy on, and that's due to the fact that mutate's clearly a creature-specific ability. Clearly. When you're dealing with non-creatures, that means you have to focus on at least having at least a suitable amount of non-creature spells in the deck. And obviously you're focusing more on creatures with this guy. So I don't know what I'm feeling. I love how the art is phenomenal. And any version of this, even the Rodan art is fantastic. But this, I'm just kind of, really? I don't know. Maybe I'm not looking at it from the right angle. I don't know. I like it overall, but something seems off about that. But I've been hearing a lot of people say it's like Snapcaster Mage, things along those lines. So yeah, Jesus, I'm talking so much, my nose is stuffed up. Okay, see now, Titanoth Rex, 2 green, 7/7, 11 2 green and 7 for an 11/11 trample with cycle. 2, draw a card. When you cycle it, you put a trample counter on target creature you control. Its alternate version is Godzilla Primeval Champion. Now, there are multiple versions of Godzilla. There is another one. There's 2 more we're actually going to get to, not even including Space Godzilla, which means we're probably even. Ooh! I just realized we might see Burning Godzilla. Ooh! I just realized we could see Burning Godzilla, or God forbid Godzilla. I think they're going to avoid Godzilla Earth. Just realizing something too. How many mythics are we on right now? 2 planeswalkers, 4 of the Apex Predators, and the Broodmoth. That's 7 mythics right off the bat out of 15. Plus another planeswalker that needs to be revealed. So that's 8. So we still got 7 more mythics to be revealed here. I'm just wondering something about so we're going to probably get 1 within each of the colors respectively. We already got the white one, so we're probably going to see another red, another blue, another green, and another black. So that right there is 4 of the 7. So, and then we'll probably get like an artifact that's legendary. They do say that, oh God, which one is it? In the Planeswalker Guide that the largest creature the planet had ever known went back into the sea. So, I have a suspicion one of the story beats is going to be that creature's coming back. And that's going to be like one of the the top tier mythics. Like the end all be all monster of monsters. But meanwhile, where the hell is your head in this art, dude? Wow. Oh, okay, there it is. Snapdax. I like that name. Apex of the Hunt. Mardu colors and one extra mana for a 3/5, which already is a fantastic rate for a creature with double strike. Its mutate is 2 white, 1 black hybrid, 1 hybrid Rakdos mana, and 2 of any color. When this creature mutates, it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls, and you gain 4 life. Well, this thing is disgusting. Quite frankly, it just has to mutate once or twice, and you're pretty much going to be golden in the game. Like this is nasty. This is gross, actually. Wow. And then its alternate art is fantastic. Almost like it really is kind of like Stan Lee X-Men-ish almost. Then King Caesar Awoken Titan is its alternate version, which is pretty cool. But yeah, no, and I love the art. This is that's a beast of a looking creature right there. And it reminds me of something. Like I'm trying to remember what I remember seeing that looks like that. Like color wise. What strike? Something stands out to me color wise, like the orange, the white, and the black. I'm like, what? My nose itching. I don't know what. I'm trying to remember what I remember that looked like that, but I'm drawing a blank on that. Umori, the Collector, 2 hybrid Golgari mana, 2 of any color for a 4/5 ooze. Its companion, what's the best way to put it? Stipulation, let's call it. Each non-land card in your starting deck shares a card type. Well, that's dumb. So I'll just play the card as is. When it enters the battlefield, choose a card type. Spells you cast with the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. Overall, I actually like it quite a bit. I just don't care about the companion cost. Luckily, it's cheap and powerful enough that for 4 mana, you'll run it regardless. Absolutely you will. Because you don't have to choose it as your companion. I think that's what a lot of people are kind of getting a little bummed about. Is that you don't have to choose it as your companion. You can put it in your deck. It's fine. Because it says, if this card is your chosen companion, you don't have to choose it as your companion. Gyruda, Doom of Depth. 2 hybrid Dimir and 4 of any color for a 6/6 Demon Kraken. Creature type we just got, we mentioned, and we also got Elemental Otter. When it enters the battlefield, each player puts the top 4 cards of their library into the graveyard. Put a creature card with an even converted mana cost from among them onto the battlefield under your control. I'll be honest, I kind of like it. I think it's interesting. That's for certain. You're definitely gonna have to play some even amount of cost of cards and hope to God you get a creature out. But honestly, look, if you're a mill type player like me and you like to mill your opponent, get some cards in there. You're gonna get your cards in the graveyard. 4 cards between each of you. Good chance you could probably get a creature card out of there somewhere. And besides that, I mean, if you're also one of those people who likes to mill themselves, there you go. You got a little bit of that too. I don't think it's a bad trade-off, quite frankly. And I mean, come on. It's Gigan. Now, why is this Gigan? That's actually a pretty solid question. I've seen people ask why the Demon Kraken is Gigan. Because the only thing that's aquatic about Gigan really is its fins. But they're looking at, and Gigan's really a bit of a coward too. So blue doesn't really make sense. Though the black can make sense. I don't know why it's a blue. I don't know why it's Gigan. Essence Scatter gets a reprint. It's good art. There's the Space Godzilla Void Invader art that I mentioned. Grim Dancer. This is a pretty cool card. 2 black, 2 of any color for a 3/3 Nightmare uncommon. When it enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield with your choice of 2 different counters, either a Menace, Death Touch, or Lifelink. Now it's going to depend on your board state, absolutely, but I think one of them has to be Menace. 9 times out of 10, I think it's got 9 times out of 10, one of them has to be Menace. Again, unless you're in a very peculiar board state, like you're defending, in which case Death Touch and Lifelink all the way. But if you're ahead, or I would probably go Menace and Death Touch if I'm ahead, or if I get this out on like turn 3 and like my opponent only has like 1 creature, I'll probably go Menace and Lifelink. But if my opponent is already mutating some big things, I'm probably going to go Death Touch and Lifelink on that. But that's my opinion. Either way, it's a 3/3 for 3 with no downside whatsoever. So you're going to play it. Gem Destroyer, which, by the by, it has Mutate. And it has, its alternate art is actually Anguirus, which is the spiky dinosaur-looking thing that Godzilla fought and Godzilla raids again. And in other movies it showed up too. But it's a 4/4/4/4, 4/4. Reach Trample, which means it's already playable. Absolutely. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment opponent controls. Yeah, that's good. Absolutely. Again, you don't even have to play for this mutate cost. You can just play a 4/4 with Reach and Trample. That's more than usable. Poliwag Symbiote, which has an alternate art of Baby Godzilla, Ruin Reborn. Oh my god, I remember that from the Heisei era. Poliwag Symbiote is a 1/3 frog. Each creature spell you cast costs 1 less to cast if it has Mutate. Whenever you cast a creature spell, if it has Mutate, draw a card, then discard a card. Most people are going to be playing this. Absolutely. It's basically your Ethereum Sculptor for your Mutate creatures. Absolutely, you're going to want to play it. I'm going to want to play it. And then you got the Dorians, the Perfect Pet, the baby Ghidorahs, whose actual name is Sprite Dragon. Flying Haste, 1/1 for 1 is it red and blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1 counter on Sprite. Essentially, it's permanent prowess. You're going to play that. I'm going to find plenty of homes for this son of a bitch. Oh my god. Last ones to talk about. Now, this is interesting because I have yet to see the card that Godzilla King of the Monsters, the legitimate card, is based off of. It's just him. So I'm wondering if this might be the buy a box promo or like the box topper or something like that. I'm wondering about that. But BioQuartz Space Godzilla is basically the alternate version of Borkoros Apex of Forever. It is soul tie colors, blue, black, green, and 2 of any color. Its mutate cost is 2 green, hybrid, Dimir, and 2 of any color for a 6/6 trample. You may cast this card from your graveyard using its mutate ability, which means you can continually mutate creatures with this card, which is actually pretty nuts. This thing is a recurring nightmare because you can just bring it back, mutate it onto something else, and you have it trample, which is fine. But more than likely, if you've got smaller stuff on the field, let's say Sprite Dragon, for instance, I don't know why you would be in a 4-color deck, but anything's possible. You can then mutate them and put them onto Fairy Dragon or Sprite Dragon, and therefore give them trample, flying, haste, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, give it +1/+1 for a permanent +1 counter. Like, seriously. Or put it on freaking Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Give it trample, and lethal damage to creatures you control is determined by their power rather than their toughness. And that is a 7/3 for a Gruul and 3 of any color. I'll be honest, I know that's basically the opposite of Doran, the Siege Tower. I think that's his name. The Tree Folk that is widely loved in those decks. Isn't that what you normally do anyway? Isn't that basically just to counter that? I'm a little. I mean, otherwise he's a 7/3, which is huge. But I don't know. I'm just a little confused on that, quite frankly. But anyway, yeah, Godzilla. Kaijus. I'm all Ghibli right now. I like that term. I heard that term on one of my YouTube shows. I'm Ghibli. I'm honest. It's like, oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to play the shit out of all these cards, man. I actually picked up Unsanctioned from my girl when my girlfriend split me and I split the decks. I made sure to get Surgeon Commander. Who, whenever you augment, enchant, or mutate a creature, draw a card, and task for all 5 colors of mana. So, yeah, I've kind of been looking forward to what mutate does, and quite frankly, I'm not disappointed by it. I know there's some people who are kind of less than moved by it, but it's personal opinion. All I know is I can't wait to see everything else coming from this set. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it so much. And I guess we'll see about tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to just get Commander stuff going tomorrow, and I know we're going to get it all through the weekend, and then we'll go back to the regular Ikoria stuff on Monday. But I don't know if we'll get more Ikoria and Commander stuff tomorrow, Ikoria stuff tomorrow, or what. We'll see what happens tomorrow, though. Until then, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. I know this went on long. Get used to it for this particular set, because our window for spoilers has shrunk quite a bit. Till then, later, folks.